Hello, friends. Al Iverson here with another of your email authentication and deliverability questions answered. Today, I want to talk about DMARCbis. What is it and what do you need to know about it? It is the latest version of the specification for DMARC, the add-on to email authentication known as domain-based message authentication, reporting, and conformance. It's the thing that lets a domain owner tell the world that they authenticate every email message that they send and also allows them to ask mailbox providers to reject mail that fails authentication checks. In short, it helps prevent bad guys from successfully spoofing email using your domain name. They can still try to send it, but probably not very successfully thanks to DMARC. And DMARC provides for reporting to monitor all of this. This is all defined in RFC 7489. RFCs are the documents governing various Internet specifications. They're published by the Internet standards body known as the IETF, the Internet Engineering Task Force. And here's a link to that particular RFC if you want to read it yourself. It explains everything you need to know about how DMARC works. Policy, reporting, alignment, it's all there. And that brings us to DMARCbis. Biz in IETF parlance means again or twice, but I like to think of it more as next, meaning that DMARCbis means DMARC next, as in the next version of the DMARC specification. DMARCbis is currently working its way through the IETF process and does seem likely to be adopted at some point in the near future. And this new version of DMARC will bring with it a few changes. In particular, there are three things that I think are important for you to know more about. Number one, tree walk as an alternative to the PSL. Number two, clarifications around failure reporting. Number three, removal of certain flags like %, RF, and RI. First, tree walking and setting an organizational domain. Today, DMARC depends on something called the public suffix list, or PSL, to determine the organizational domain. Think google.com instead of a.b.google.com or email.google.com when evaluating alignment and looking for a DMARC policy record. The problem, the PSL is external to DNS, it's manually maintained, and frankly has some edge case stuff in it that is perhaps more suitable for its original use of providing cookie privacy controls for web browsers. DMARCbis replaces this with a DNS native tree walk algorithm. Instead of jumping directly from mail.example.com to example.com based on PSL based logic, receivers can get there a different way, walking up the DNS hierarchy label by label or hostname by hostname, looking for DMARC records and evaluating the new PSD tag along the way. This gives domain owners more explicit control over organizational boundaries. Under DMARCbis, domains can declare themselves as organizational or public suffix domains. That eliminates reliance on a third-party suffix list and better supports complex hosting and delegated subdomain environments. It also changes DMARC discovery semantics in a small but important way, allowing for better handling of multiple levels of subdomain, something not contemplated in the original specification. Next, clarifications around failure reporting. Failure reports in DMARC often contain full messages, or at least enough of the message headers and body to help with detailed troubleshooting of certain kinds of DMARC-related issues. They often contain enough information to raise concerns around PII, or personally identifiable information. And the net result from that is that very few mailbox providers send these reports because of privacy concerns. In short, even if you had failure reporting enabled in your DMARC record settings, those reports were quite rare. And DMARCbis even clarifies this in the spec, and I'm quoting here. Experience has shown that mail receivers rightly concerned about protecting user privacy have either chosen to heavily redact the information in such reports, which can hinder their usefulness, or not send them at all. End quote. There is now a full additional document that goes along with this. It goes into more detail with regard to concerns around privacy and the potential for data exposure. Now, I would say that this is perhaps not quite a full deprecation of failure reporting, but it's another nail in the coffin for it. So I wouldn't expect much success with failure reports. Thankfully, though, aggregate reporting still exists, still remains very useful. And finally, tag removal. The PCT or percent tag was intended to support gradual rollout by applying a quarantine or reject policy to only a percentage of failing mail. This was not broadly implemented among mailbox providers. The tag created false confidence that senders had precise deployment settings that probably weren't working as expected in the real world. DMARCbis removes this entirely and instead introduces a simpler testing-oriented approach with the new T equals flag, allowing a domain owner to specify that they're in testing mode. The removal of the RF and RI tags follows the same philosophy. The RF tag attempted to specify failure report formatting, but providers generally ignored it. The RI tag lets senders request aggregate reporting at a specific interval, but receivers pretty much ignored this as well. DMARCbis essentially acknowledges operational reality here by trimming away these underused or inconsistently honored features. So here are links to learn more about all of these topics, everything I touched on today. And with that, I'll wrap things up for this video. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I hope you found it interesting, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to drop me an email at al.iverson@valamail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at valamail.com when you're ready to embark upon your DMARC journey.